Welcome back to the studio. I thought tonight we would paint a seagull. I live here on the ocean and we've got plenty of these guys hanging around. They're kind of nice, kind of not, I don't know, but for whatever reason I like them. They're kind of nice. So what we've got is a bird kind of offset in our picture, standing on, I guess, some kind of a dock or something. So we'll paint in some nice wood here, give him a little color. The seagull is going to be difficult because we're going to have to do some minimalist kind of painting on him. He's mostly white, and that's sometimes hard to do, to step back and not do so much, but that's what we've got. Let me pin him up so I can keep track of him. I've pre-drawn my bird here, and let's get going. I'm gonna try again tonight. I'm painting with a travel set of paints, so I'm gonna try to mix up a little bit of gray. We got a lot of different colors of gray in this painting. I'm gonna try to get one. So let me get a towel here real quick. I'm gonna try to make one that's going to kind of come close to this, right? It is wood. It's kind of a, I don't know, gray, brown, much more gray than brown. But we're gonna see what we can do to come up with something for that. I'm mixing a few colors off to the side here. You can see, just trying to get the right shade. I actually think I like this one I've got. Alright, I'm just gonna lay in some color here. I'm just gonna real quickly put this down. I'm not trying to get any kind of detail on it. I don't want any detail on it at the moment. All the detail that we get is gonna come from our shadowing. We're going to put some lines on there, so we're going to get all that. I just want to get some paint on here so we know what we're doing. Let's see, I got a little bit behind his foot back here. I'm sorry, I'm leaning in. You're probably looking right at my head, I'm sure. Alright, there we go, we got that. Now I've actually mixed up two colors of gray. This one I just used, and this one is a little bit bluer. I actually kind of like that. I'm going to use that color for his wings here. Let's see, something like this. Uh-oh, dipped in the wrong one. That's fine. I'm going to turn this just ever so slightly. I can get in here. The bottom of that wing is pretty straight in through here. Dip down a little bit. And let's see, we're coming up over here. This is pretty much what is gray on this guy. He's got a little bit of a different color gray right there, so paint that on that way, and the back end, the very tip of his wingtips back here is white. I'm going to try to leave that white if I can. Something like that. We're going to let that dry just a little bit. We're not going to do much with it. And then we're going to come back and put our shadowing in while it's still a little bit wet. In the meantime, I'm going to come up to his eye right here. Just draw right across his eye. I might have to do it this way. Let me push it up so I know you can see it. Just pulling right across his eye here. A little bit of gray under his chin. Right around here. something like that, and very light. Got some gray right along here. This is the same gray that I've used for his wing. I've just pared it down just very lightly. It's just so light. There's almost nothing there. Almost nothing there. I'm gonna mix in a little bit of this board color down here and mostly water. I don't want a lot of dark colors here. There we go, because he doesn't have a lot, or she doesn't have a lot of dark colors, just slight bit of color underneath there. I've got that. I'm going to blend that out just a little bit like that. Alright, let's see. Almost good enough. I'm looking at this, I'm just picking it up and turning it on its side a little bit. I don't know if you can see. There you go. I think you can see. Okay, so I had just picked this up. I ran into a little camera problem. Mainly it died. So we're back now. Unfortunately, my whole painting has dried, so we've got to kind of start over again. Not all the way over. But we need to do a few things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start back down here again with my wood color. Mix up a little bit more of that, make it a little bit darker this time, and we're going to put in just the indications here of some planks. Here's one. Let's see. There's another one down here somewhere. Let's see. One behind him. I don't know. There was another one right back here somewhere. Something like that. That's a pretty big one. You know what? Our picture doesn't have one here, but I'm going to put one in. Let's see, right here. Just a little, it's like a little hook. And bring it right on down. Now, I'm going to get my liner brush. I'm going to draw some squiggles here and there. A knot maybe. Something like that. Few lines, just give the indication of that these are some old boards just kind of hanging around. Here's another knot there. Now I've got a little bit of metal that's out here. It looks to me, it's kind of purplish, if you can believe it. So I'm going to mix up a purple gray here, and I'm going to draw that line in. Let's see, real gently. There it is on that side. I should be doing this upside down. It will probably be a little bit easier. There we go. It's a little easier. Just real gently draw that in. It probably would even be easier if I used a flat brush. But I don't have a flat brush right now. I do have a flat brush right now. I don't have one in my hand right now. I guess is kind of what I meant. So this will work. There's always more than one way to do things. So we've got that in where we went over the wood. It kind of looks like there's a little bit of shadow there. We're going to call that fairly good for now. We're going to put, actually, we're going to put a little shadow in under that bird's feet while we're at it. I'm going to use our wood color, a small brush. I'm just going to make an indication of some shadow like that. Come on, tap this off. There we go. There we go. We've got a little shadow on there. Just a little bit of darkness around him. Now I know that there's a line for this guy right in here. Let's see. Right in here. Just like that. And it kind of bisects his wing right there. Just a little flat spot in there. And I know that, I also know that right back here, he's got a little bit of, looks like my camera got off a little bit here. Got a little bit of brown in his wing. I want to put that in. Just comes up like that. There's a little bit of brown undertone there. I guess that's his back wing back there. Something like that. And we've got some really dark color back here. I think I'm just going to use this Payne's Gray straight up. When I do this, it's always easier for me to pull away, so I end up turning this paper around a lot. I'm going to try to keep it where you can see it. There's part of his tail. Good. He's got a little bit down here. We don't really differentiate between any particular feathers in that picture. Let's see, and we got a little bit that goes way up here. There you go. I hope I didn't lean over too far. Alright, what else do we have on this bird? We've got a beak that's pretty green, which is a bit funny to see. I'll show that to you here. Really, it's a bit funny. I don't think I want it quite that green. I'm okay with it being a little bit green, but not quite that green. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of a green brown. Just going to draw that on. Let's see, I'm going to tip him a little bit. There it is. There's his beak right on there. He's got a really orangey red eye. Let me get a nice orangey color going here. I think that's good. This is a really small paintbrush, so I can get right in there. Good, right there. I need to let that set for a little bit because I'm going to need to come back and put his pupil in there. He's got some orangey red legs here. I'm gonna put these on. It's very much the same as his eyes, but maybe not quite as bright. Maybe a little brighter. I don't know. Let's see. We'll see how it looks when we're done with it. It comes out flat, kind of like that. Here we go. I know that he's got some marks on there. His toenail's kind of black. He's got, oh, a little too much water and not quite enough paint. Made it flow right over there. He's got some marks on his leg. So we're just going to put these on. Hope they flow out a little bit. That's not too bad. Put a little bit of that orange red back right back down here. There we go. I think that's going to work pretty good for a seagull foot. What else do we need on this guy? A nice background. Right, I can tell that's coming. It's got a nice green, brown, yellowish background. So I'm going to mix up a nice bit of green here with some nice ochre in it. We're going to make a lot of that. We're going to see how it goes. I'm going to start right up here. Just draw that right around him. I'm going to let him dictate to me how some of this is going to go on. I guess I'm going to dictate to him how some of it goes on. And between the two of us, we're going to get a nice portrait of this bird out of that. Let's see. I think this is a little too loose out there, so we're just going to dab in a little extra color. There we go. Just bring that right on down. Fill in any color that's there between the bird and your background. Just however you think that needs to go on there. There's no right and no wrong way. It's however you feel it should be. This is where you get to do whatever you want on the background here. The only thing we need to do is to make sure that we vary the color ever so slightly. Dip in some yellows, dip in some ochres. I just dipped in a little bit of gray right there, and I'm going to go back to my green. I can actually make that green a little brighter. That might be a little too bright. Here we go. Right on around like that. It's whatever you want to do with this background. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm going to let this come and mix way down here. Get some of the color off. It does help if you've got a little bit of water on your brush, but you don't want too much. You get too much water on there and it just runs everywhere. We want just a little bit, and it will run just right for us. There we go. The bird is jumping off of this page. Can totally see him here. Push that out. Maybe you can see him a little better if he's out there. We just want this background to be nice and loose, nice and wet. When it dries, it'll make everything look like it's just a little bit out of focus. You'll have some nice ochre colors, maybe a little brown, some nice greens in there. It's gonna look fantastic. Here we go. I'm hoping that his beak is dried just enough. I'm going to try to stay just away from it so it doesn't run. I'm going to bring that color right on down here. Right around our bird. I got a little too much water over here. I can just dab a little bit of that off. Ooh, I like that background right there. I'll leave that there. I got a little too much water over here. But basically that's okay. I need to wait for that to dry just ever so slightly. In fact, I think I'm going to help that along just a little bit. Alright, I need to just put a little bit. Seagulls often have that little, well, they have a little nostril there. They also have sometimes that little line on their beaks. I don't know what adaptation that's for. Sometimes they've got that, and this guy seems to have it. Put that on. I'm going to put on a little tiny line here to denote his beak, and just a dot in there for his pupil. And I think that's it. I'm going to sign this one. I'm calling this one done. I think I can sign it right about there. I think that's a great representation of this seagull right there. So there it is. Thank you for painting with me tonight. I hope you subscribe to my channel so we can do it more often. If you take a try at painting this bird, please drop me a line. Let me see what it looks like. I love seeing what everybody else's artwork looks like. Thank you for spending the time with me tonight, and I hope to see you later. Thank you.